Before I tell you anything, I want to tell you about my upbringing. Half of my family was entranced by a group known as the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania, or as many know it, the Jehovah's Witnesses. They have aspirations of building a theocratic government in this world.
A lot of people are thinking about government these days.
You're so right. Which side are you on?
Actually, I'm neutral when it comes to politics. Instead, I support God's government.
God's government?
Yes, a Jehovah's Witness caliphate. That's a political position, though. You just don't vote.
Yeah, millions of people pray for God's government. Many just don't even realize it. I'd like to show you what I'm talking about. It's here.
Meditate on this beautiful verse, verse 20. But the wicked will perish, the enemies of Jehovah will vanish like glorious pastures, they will vanish like smoke.
We are at war, and that is very clear. So for all of us, we have to protect ourselves from Satan and the demons, and the spiritual fight is on to the finish.
Frankly, for friends of Jehovah God, how reassuring that they're finally going to be gone. All these despicable enemies that have just reproached Jehovah's name, destroyed, never, ever to live again. Now, it's not that we rejoice in someone's death, but when it comes to God's enemies, finally, they're out of the way, especially these despicable apostates who at one point had dedicated their life to God and then they joined forces with Satan, the devil. They will vanish like smoke. So I thought this would be a nice memory aid to this verse stay in the mind. Here's what Jehovah's promising. Verse 24, and they will go out and look on the carcasses of the men who rebelled against me, for the worms on them will not die, and their fire will not be extinguished, and they will become something repulsive to all people. What the fire did not consume, the maggots would. Now, I don't know if you know much about maggots, but you see a whole bunch of them. It's just not a pleasant sight. But what a fitting picture of the final end of all of God's enemies. Sobering, yet something we look forward to.
When some people see these individuals come to their door on a Saturday morning, or at least before the coronavirus, when they could come to your door on a Saturday morning, most of us just receive letters now, but people would just think this is some benign Christian denomination. My household growing up was spiritually divided. My father's side of the family didn't really have a religious denomination, but my mother's side of the family were and are Jehovah's Witnesses. Me and my siblings were expected to become Jehovah's Witnesses, and we attended the Kingdom Hall regularly. We all faded at different periods of time, but I can remember clearly as a kid feeling as if I was marked at birth because my father wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. The other kids would tease us and make fun of us, and it seemed almost as if we were an untouchable class. This was coupled with the isolation we faced at school for being Jehovah's Witnesses, along with the fact that our mother wouldn't let us have friends that were outside of the truth, except for a select few. My father was also a drug addict, so he couldn't really help move us away from the organization. By the time I got out of middle school, I was really not interested in the Jehovah's Witnesses, and throughout high school, I may have attended some of the memorials, but by the time I was in college, there was no kind of organizational things happening between me and Jehovah's Witnesses. Doubt made me go on a religious journey. I had deep-held beliefs already, but I wanted to be of an Abrahamic faith, so I really studied as many different denominations of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam to try to figure out if I could find myself in any of these religions, but I could not. I'll make more videos in the future that talk about my past, but for now, I want to talk about something that's a little bit more pressing. Some of my family members and friends are actually going back to the truth. I know this sounds crazy with all of the videos on the internet right now. I was gonna leave it alone, but it's getting a little bit personal. So I'm going to start making media to join in the fight with all the XJWs on the internet and on YouTube, and I'm going to try my hardest to join in the effort. Well, I want to go into my first doubts about the religion, but that's gonna be a whole thing. I hope that you guys tune into my next episode and check that out. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and big thanks to all of the XJ dubs who come out and talk about their lives and their upbringing and their struggles. Thank you for inspiring me to make this video.